Where are the people? Where are the one-way tickets? Who signed the death certificates? Where are the magicians, the madmen, the toothless, the smoothest, the poets, the corner store prophets? Where are the black people? My white neighbor asked me, Jessica, where are the black people? Where are the chosen people? Where are our hearts, our guitars, our bass players? Rest in peace, Kenny Mack, Anthony Tolson.
10 minutes flat, said the graveyard. The funeral only took 10 minutes. Never tell that to anyone again. You just gonna pin the 90s on me? All 30 years of them? Then why should I know the difference between sleep and satire? The pyramid of corner stores fell on our heads, we died right away. That building wants to climb up and jump off another building. These are downtown decisions. Somewhere on this planet, it's August 7th, that we running down the rust, thinking one more needs to come with me. What? Evaporated on Earth so that we could be sent back down.
Where are the people? Where are the people? When you find them, tell them I am continuing to write for them so they will never be allowed to disappear without a fight. Thank you for listening.
What vibrates a consciousness is when you just play with it. Because perception very much is kind of like where liberation is at stake. Because your craft is really just like your parallel universe. It's just like your dream. So the more lucid you get in that dream, the more interesting.
I'm gonna read some poems. I'm gonna open with this one I wrote for Ntozake because I was sitting at a breakfast with her in Florida, and I said, Ntozake, you know, I used to be a roller coaster girl, and I don't know why I called myself that or why I said it, but this is the poem. I used to be a roller coaster girl, 7 times in a row, no vertigo in these skinny legs, my lipstick bubblegum pink as my Panther 10 speed, never kissed. Nappy pigtails, no brand gym shoes, white line, yellow short shorts, scratched up legs, pedaling past borders of hummus and baba ganoush, masjids and liquor stores, city chicken, pepperoni bread, and summer Superman ice cream cones. Yellow black blending with bits of Arabic, Islam, and Catholicism. My daddy was Jesus, my mother was quiet, Jane Kennedy was worshipped by my brother Mark. I don't remember having my own bed before 12. Y'all know who Jane Kennedy is? Y'all old? Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. I don't remember having my own bed before 12. Me and my sister Lisa shared. Sometimes all 3 more girls slept in the queen. You grow up so close, never close enough. I used to be a roller coaster girl, wild child full of flowers and ideas, useless crushes on Polish boys in a school full of white girls, future black swans singing Zeppelin, U2, and Rick Springfield, hoping to be Jesse's girl. I could outrun my brothers and everybody else to that reoccurring line. I used to be a roller coaster girl till you told me I was moving too fast, said my rush made your head spin, my laughter hurt your ears, a scream of happiness, a scream of freedom, pouring out my armpits, sweating up my neck. You were always the scared one. I kept my eyes open for the entire trip. Right before the drop, I would brace myself and let that force push my head back into that hard iron seat. My arms nearly fell off a few times. Still, I kept running back to that line when I was done. Same way I kept running back to you. I used to be a roller coaster girl. I wasn't scared of mountains or falling. Hell, I look forward to flying and dropping off this earth and coming back to life every once in a while. I found some peace in being out of control, allowing my blood to race through my veins for 180 seconds. I earn my sometime nicotine pull. I buy my own damn drinks, and the ocean still calls my name when it feels my toes near its shore. I still love roller coasters, and you grew up to be afraid, and you grew up to be afraid of all girls who could ride fearlessly like me. Thank you. I just wrote this, this is one of the last poems that went into my book. It's called I Am Not Ready to Die. And I'm not gonna say who I wrote it, who inspired it, what artist, but it could be so many of them. I am not ready to die a little more today. My nails are polished, a bright aquamarine. My skin smells like the ocean. In my hair, I am wearing the flowers he left on my doorstep. Tiger's eye and turquoise are wrapped around my wrist. Do I look like I am attempting an early death? My headphones sound like Sade. I wish these new girls would get the F off their knees and transform a room with some subtle power and grace. Sade doesn't really dance, poet, and that is the point. When did it become okay to die in this country on our knees? The Walking Dead, a 24-hour day spa. They parade in groups. Hell, I need a massage too, but at what price? I gotta stand behind mediocre bars just because the kids rock to it. I've yet to hear an MC destroy this alphabet more gangster than Intozaki. So I ain't ready to die today. Won't participate in the spirit massacre of our children. My throat is on fire, my pen is hot. Intozaki is dead, Intozaki will never die. I'm more alive at 47 than most of these wannabe Euro inside-out millennials. I've graduated from digital slavery masterclass. I read books without screens. I have sex with men my age whenever I feel like it. I love my hair, my ass, my breasts. I'm clear, my power is between my ears, inside my chest. Black girl magic does not grow between our legs. This is the mythology of men. How much, sis, to get you off your knees? This pen is a knife, stabbing out the hearts of dead trees. These trees already dead anyway, a walking dead urban forest. We are surrounded, so why continue to climb, to write? Because I ain't ready to die today or tomorrow. I'ma keep living inside poems you didn't know were left for you. If you would just get off the down floor, you could see all these poems, all this royalty, all this world they attempt to kill you with. It's really your universe to inherit, to change, to rebuild. Get off your knees, stop crawling for them. Stand up, Queen Latifah, Light, Lauren, Missy, Left Eye, Bahamadia, Rod Digger, Roxanne, Kate Valentine, Mama Soul. Microphones are not your stripper poles. Sonia, Audrey, Maya, Intozaki, Jane, Lucille, Nikki, Tony, Asha, Stacey Ann, Akira, Mahogany, Elizabeth, Lisa, Michelle, me, us. We need you to stop dying, to stop dying, to stop dying to be less than who you are destined to be. We need you to outlive death in all its forms. Live, 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 so patriarchy can finally die. Okay. I'm gonna read like 2 more poems. Then I'm gonna move out the way from my people. So this is a new poem. It's kind of weird. Whatever. It's called She Was. So Charlotte, that's the one that called me. Y'all say hi, Charlotte. Thank you. You called my phone. I love you. I answer no matter what. Because Charlotte is one of the few people besides my mother that helps me with my child. So y'all give. She was. So I make jokes about like how many times I've been married, and because I think it's funny. I'm kidding. No, it's kind of funny. And and it's funny because someone said to me recently, like one of the people that want to marry me, because people always want to marry me, and I don't want to marry anybody anymore, and that feels really great to not want to get married to anybody anymore, because like my existence is not determined by like a guy liking me or like putting a ring on and being like I'm his wife and like forgetting that I have a name. Like I'm cool with that. I have convinced myself I speak French. Somehow I will find a way to make a perfect sound, an un-English. I don't know what else to do with this language except murder it, dig out its eyes, every vowel till it suffocates, choke the breath out this alphabet. I need more than 26 letters to articulate how I survived you, how we survived, calculated attempts to blow the heads off our sons, slavery in a digital world. I have buried all the men I've loved and will ever love before you could get to them. Now what, mofo? I won't allow you the privilege of their death. You will not capture my personal ghosts, make them your public prize. I will swallow them down, set a whiskey straight, but you don't drink, poet. The round table turns square. I'm not drunk enough to make a clear sentence. I prefer a sober hallucination. The pill of this country is difficult enough to chase. Water, no ice, is watching me dance with myself and everyone else in this cynical room. You know I'm making love to you. I don't have to tell you your ear is attached to the side of your head. These few seconds pulled against your chest is honeymoon in Jamaica. The editors are resisting my twist and plot. We pose for the photo that is really not about the photo. Is this a poem or a romance? The poems know I got a trail of hearts following behind me. The train tied around my waist, dragging loud, empty canned ideas left over from one of those marriages so long ago I can't remember what I wore underneath. Poems never really want to commit. Why are you putting on that red dress to camouflage the bloodshed of the off-white failure? Babatunde played drums. Imani Azuri sang. Veil full of ivory Cowries couldn't turn the cloisters in New York City into the door of no return. We always return in new forms. Horses, red dresses, convertible Mustang, quite gangster, my daddy must have yelled from his Madison, Alabama grave. I will kill him because our daddy would have, whispered my brother Ed, pacing in front of our 3,000 square foot lie. Jessica is always in love. Love is a distraction from love. Life is a conceptual art installation. I found my body in ceramic pieces thrifting in New Smyrna, Florida with Radcliffe Bailey. Plastered Afro Yemenia, left hand removed, decapitated flower, thick white curls still in place despite the nets used to be somebody's light. She spoke French, Senegalese dialect. Our bodies, we fell in love before they could hide the evidence. Re-glued our stories, Queen Kuntas. She wears the same mauve petals my grandmother wore in the one photo I possess of her. You get used to not ever knowing your grandparents. Figured the ocean is our most authentic photo album. Tide don't lie. Here comes another body crashing against the family tree. We just know we Moors, conquered Spain. There's that one photo my daddy kept of my great-grandfather in full feather headdress. My indigenous DNA test wasted traces of Southern comfort, shotguns, deer meat, Afro still in place. Piss test found Nat Turner promises in one page of his Bible. Piss test swam to Huntsville, well full of moonshine and moonlight. How can one bladder hold all that water? You got an ocean between your legs, girl. Oh, y'all laugh. Aretha died a little more every time we played the record. Naima inspired Naima. What else do you want from us? You never forget the ones you killed early. They haunt you. You will never have my sons. You will never have my sons. I don't know what else to do with this language except kill it. Marriage isn't for everyone, said the woman who wants my husband. She was right. But death is a commitment we all make. Who will pick out my dress? Who will interrupt, refuse the wedding to continue? My flower girl has my grandmother's eyes. Mary Baraka got my daddy's moonshine in his left pocket. Her body, ashes along an amethyst skyline. Convertible white caddy racing across the clouds. Body pushing hard against the wind. Decapitated fro, pitchfork combs through nappy deferred dreams. She was perfectly positioned for takeoff. Check the skies for the purple smoke. Poem still recovering from the self-inflicted fire. I promise she was somebody's light. That's it. Thank you. I'm gonna end with this. I'm gonna take my top hat off. I don't know. So where are the people? I wrote this because I went to Jolly Pumpkin, the new little spot on Cass, little piece of space, and me and my son King went there, and they gave us a pepperoni pizza by accident, and so we don't eat pepperoni. So we drove up Cass, you remember that, King? We drove up Cass like forever, just trying to find a person to give a slice of pizza to, or a free pizza to, and we couldn't find anyone. And like literally, if you were just like in Detroit, maybe just 5 years ago, like, you know, just go up like Cass in Peterborough, and you knew you could, like, if you wanted to give out blankets to the homeless, you knew you had a place to go. Where are the people? Where are the people? Where are the one-way tickets? Who signed the death certificates? Where are the magicians, the madmen, the toothless, the smoothest, the poets, the corner store prophets, the bus stop historians, the traffic stoppers? Where are the people? Where are the people? Where are the blues? Under which pile of gravel? Where are they buried? Hurricane Cass corridor. Hurricane Cass corridor. Where is the soul, the soil, the socks, the soles, the shoes? Where is the heroin? Where are the pills? Where are the women? Where are the thrills? Where is Cass corridor? My student asked me, is it a building? Is it this way? Is it that way? Your school is sitting in it. Detroit School of the Arts. I answer, you is it. You is it. The dogs are walking the people. Where are the people? The stepped over, the forgotten Holocaust, the fragile, the beautiful, the fast talkers, the backward walkers, the 3 a.m. stalkers. Where did they take them? When will they return? Where is the balance? Where is the money? Where are our schools? Where are the people? We all got Wi-Fi, so nobody getting high outside. Where are the beds? Where is their heads? Where are the recognizable street signs? Where is Joe Louis? Where are the black people? My white neighbor asked me, Jessica, where are the black people? Where are the chosen people? Where are our hearts, our guitars, our bass players? Rest in peace, Kenny Mack, Anthony Tolson. Rest in peace, Anthony Tolson, Kenny Mack. Where are the anointed, the children of God? Where is the sage? Where is the holy water? Where is the black imagination located? How much does it cost per square feet to rent there? Is there a rent to own your own black imagination option? Where are the couples fighting in the alleys? Where are the purple flavor Mad Dog 2020 labels? Where are the needles? Where is the good time? Where do all those bike lanes come from? Where do all those bike lanes come from? Where is the line to simply exist? Where is the painted line to live, to breathe? Where are the parks with swings? Where are the children supposed to live? Where are the children supposed to run? Where are the twilight teasers, the moonlight mythology makers? Where are the military vets? Where are our mentally ill? Where are the people? Where are the people? Where are the people? Do you know? Do you know, huh? Have you seen them? Did they die so New Detroit could live? Did they die so New Detroit could live? Where is your conscience? Where is this nonsense coming from? Where is humanity? Where are the people? The one-way tickets? The message is still in the bottle. Where are the indigenous? Where are the salt mines? Where are the people? Where are the people? When you find them, tell them, I have an overpriced cheese and pepperoni pizza with their name on it. Tell them, I am continuing to write for them so they will never be allowed to disappear without a fight. Thank you for listening. Thank y'all. I'm so excited. Thank you. It's nice to read those poems. I'm really excited to bring my friend Tongo Eisen-Martin to the stage, and he's won every award in the world. He is the American Book Award winner for poetry. He's won the California Book Award for poetry. He's won the what is it? He won a PEN Award. He's won every award besides the Pulitzer, which he deserves. So I'm really, can I just tell you why I love Tongo so much? It's because his poetry is fantastic, and he's gonna blow you away, and it's fine. And you please buy his books. Heaven is All Goodbyes is one of my favorite poetry collections. It's sitting in my living room. I didn't set it up there so when he came in, he would see it. It's already there. It's a beautiful book of poetry. But it's because of the work that he does outside of being a poet, the political work. And when I was in San Francisco, I was practically living there for half of the year. I had a residency at Skyline College and was producing Black Women Rock there. I can't remember when it was, sometime earlier this year. And he was teaching political action, black political action? What's from your class that you teach? Black political thought, whatever, politics 101, whatever. But he was teaching this class like in this neighborhood that reminded me of a Detroit neighborhood, and had some very prestigious university to go to do a reading at. And I remember it was like 6 o'clock, and I was like, well, what time is your reading at the university? He was like, oh, it's at 6 o'clock. But he was right there with like 6 brothers, you know what I mean, having this community conversation about empowering themselves politically. And so I love him for that. And his spirit is in the right place, and he's a really amazing poet, and I'm happy that he's in Detroit, reading poems for the very first time in Detroit, at the Detroit Public Library. Y'all give it up for Tongo Eisen-Martin. Yay. I'm put on my tap hat.
You could tell by my tires that not everybody who's driven with me is still alive. Also, that I like my drinks neat, bottled, and in a bus stop. Also, that we're drowning in precinct paper, department store floor plans, and applications to the moon. We can change the color of our snot from gifted to heart attack and tell you about ashes, but where are all these angels coming from smelling like the cigarette that fails? And why is the man on the safe side, these headlights freezing up? You got nothing to say at my funeral, I'll speak on your behalf. Heroin in my smile, mountain made of flatland robbery among some things on my mind. The last store run in the name of shared afterlife, Friday to the filter, I'm a tall tale on earth. But here's to that angel that never appeared to America, in a night of dog paddle, and a batch of hangovers looking for a home. You know, a liar wouldn't have lived this long. That's my humor when fences speak. On a pair of rambling dice that got unique tempers and young souls that say, shut up about our city. Here, tidal months crash over the coast, why lie? The street's teeth are in pieces. There's reservoir art on the faces of stragglers. There's sad news from back home that mean we have to grow up on his behalf. Stumble back to a car full of last stand, the truth is stale but still liquor. Mission Street would be proud of me. I'm a mural man, almost organized. Remember when my lungs would wake up last, walking all morning if it was worth it, man, I'm 3 decades homeless. And reservoir art is all I ever see. And I'm 2,000 miles from my first fight. Maybe no one really survived. Maybe I wrote my first poem for no reason. A tour guide through your robbery. I also am. Cigarette saying, look what I did about your silence. Ransom water and box spring gold, this decade is only for accent grooming, I guess. Ransom water and box spring gold, the corner store must die. War games, I guess all these tongues rummage junk. The start of mass destruction begins and ends in restaurant bathrooms that some people use and other people clean. You telling me it's a rag in the sky? Waiting for you, yes. We've written and seen, we set a stage, we should have fit in. Warehouse jobs are for communists, but now more corridor and hallway have walked into our lives. Now the whistling is less playful and the barbed wire overcrowded too, my dear. If it is not a city, it is a prison. If it has a prison, it is a prison, not a city. When a courtyard talks on behalf of military issue, all walks take place outside of the body. Dear life to your left, a medieval painting to your right. None of this really makes an impression. Crowd people living in thin air, you have 5 minutes to learn how to see through this breeze. When a mask goes sideways, barbed wire becomes the floor, barbed wire becomes the roof, 40 feet into the sky becomes out of bounds. When a mask breaks in half, mind which way the eyes go. They killed the world for the sake of giving everyone the same backstory. We watching Gary, Indiana fight itself into the sky. Old pennies for wind. For that wind feeling you get before the hood goes up and over your headache. Pennies that stick together, mocking all aspirations. Stuck together pennies was the first newspaper I ever read, along with the storefront dwelling army that always lets us down, where the Holy Spirit favors the back room. Souls in a situation that offer 100 ways to remain a loser. Souls watching a clock, hoping their eyes don't lie to sad people. What was we talking about again? The narrator asked the graveyard. 10 minutes flat, said the graveyard. The funeral only took 10 minutes. Never tell that to anyone again. You just gonna pin the 90s on me, all 30 years of them. Then why should I know the difference between sleep and satire? The pyramid of corner stores fell on our heads, we died right away. That building wants to climb up and jump off another building. These are downtown decisions. Somewhere on this planet, it's August 7th, and we running down the rest, thinking one more needs to come with me. What? Evaporated on Earth so that we could be sent back down. The end. Apparently, too much of San Francisco was not there in the first place. This dream requires more condemned Africans. Or, put another way, state violence rises down. Or, still life is just getting warmed up. Or, army life is looking for a new church and ignored all other suggestions. Or, folktale writers have not made up their minds as to who is going to be their friends. This is the worst downtown yet, and I have borrowed a cigarette everywhere. I have taken many a walk to the back of a bus that led on out the back of a storyteller's prison sentence, then on out the back of slave scars, but this is my comeback face. I left my watch on the public bathroom sink and took the toilet with me. I threw it at the first bus I saw, eating single mothers half alive. It flew through the bus line number, then on out the front of the White House. Hopefully you find comfort downtown, but if not, we brought you enough cigarette filters to make a decent winter coat. A special species of handshake. Let's all know who's king and what's the lifespan of uniform cloth. This coffin needs to quit acting like those are birds singing. Rusty nails have no wings, have no voice, other than that of a white world dying. There are book pages in the gas pump. Catchy, isn't it? The way 3 nooses is the rule, or the way potato sack masks go so well with radio codes, or the way condemned Africans fought their way back to the ocean only to find waves made of 1920s burnt up piano parts, European backdoor deals, and red flowers for widows who spent all day in the sun mumbling in San Francisco. Red flowers, but what's the color of a doctor visit? There are book titles in the streets. Book titles like Hero, You'd Make a Better Zero. Or Hey, fur coat lady, the president is dead. Or, pay me back in children. Shit. Or, excuse my language. Or, they hung up their bodies in their own museums. And other book titles pulled from a drum solo. Hey, run here, hero. Lied to hiding place. All the bullets in 10 precincts know where to go. There's no heaven nor any other good idea in the sky. Politics means that people did it and people do it. Understand that when in San Francisco and other places that was never really there. I bet this ocean thinks it's an ocean, but it's not. It's just 60th Mission Street. All know who's king. King of thin things. You know, like America, I am proud to deserve to die. I'm gonna eat my dinner extra slow tonight in this police state candy dispenser you all call a neighborhood. No set of manners goes unpunished. Never mind a murderer's insomnia or the tea kettle preparing everyone for police sirens. I'm off to make a church bell out of a bank window. Kitchens meant more to the masses back in the day, and before that we had no enemy. Somewhere in America, the prison bus is running on time. You're gonna lose your job before the revolution hits. Shit, somewhere I won't be home for breakfast. Everyone out here now knows my name and I won't be turned against for at least 4 months. The cop in the picket line is a hard-working rookie. The sign in my hands is getting more and more laughs. It says, the picket line got cops in it. Hey, I can take care of those windows for you if you want, but someone else got to go inside your gas tank. Well, it's clear to the man that rich people had talked too much this year. Hey, why don't you go ahead and throw down that marble park bench everyone's looking up at? You know, get the Romans out of your mind. And maybe a good night's sleep would have changed the last 20 years of my life. Playing instruments like punching the wall, what would you have me do? Replace the population? Give brotherhood back to the winter? Stop smoking cigarettes with the barely dead? You know they listen in on the Sabbath. Police called the police on me. There was the white candlestick beneath my detention. I ruined the soup again, thought the judge as he took off his pilgrim robe behind the white people's door and more. I didn't get lucky, I got what was coming to me, he toast. Hey, fight me back, the man said. Of course to himself, washing windows with a will to live, tin can on his left shoulder, enjoying the bright brand new blight with all party goers both supernatural and supernaturally down there. What is this elevator, traveling side to side? Like 1,000 bit of Polaroid pictures that you actually try to eat. All the furniture on this street nailed to the cement. Cheap furniture, but we have commitment. This morning, an essay opens the conversation between enemies. Why? Because you control every grain of processed sugar between here and the poor man's border? Because in the tin can on my left shoulder, I can hear the engines of deindustrialization? Man, you should get in the painting, you know, tell lies more deeply. And this month, I'm rooting for the traitor. Carting cement to my pillow, here we will build them. Hi again. Not talking much. Hey, why don't you climb up the organ pipe to our apartment floor? I'm high again. Calling everything church, singing along to a courtyard thanks to a horn player's holy pass. I mean, I'm just putting a real jacket on it, you know. Talk about a real 5 years. Keep memories like these in the pocket next to the toll receipt. That man lost a wager with the God of good causes. That means stood up for himself a little too late. Maybe too early. I could still see 20 angles of his jaw zigzagging through the cold world of deindustrialization, man. There's an art to it. I will tell my closest friends one day. The end. There were hammers in my cradle, which made some people scared to check on me. Because, you know, God would have a devil and State Street would have a resurrection and I would be a menace to veins. Veins that the city protects with precinct flesh. You know, people actually work and marry here. The sun actually comes up. And have you heard the one about ghetto dwellers? Bang. They all duck. Well, look what the heathen drug in, man. What is that, my bullet? Who is that, your son? Have you heard the one about last names? Did you know that late night talk is the car door to the soul? I don't think we've been here before. In some type of criminal heaven, controlling every headlight for miles. If the journey has pain, it's the way I came. My name is on this sea. Royalty among mimes would be my right hand, or it'd be a brand new hammer, or wolf traveling at the speed city's end. Interpretations of shot men. You know, hands are the only place that souls are actually found. And fists get a road trip too. Maybe you should mind me. Or maybe I paid too much attention to this black coat as I was growing up in a wrong lit room. At least the walls was nice guys. At least I had this C. At least I got this ocean when her words freeze and Central Time is up. When my family relapses into suicidal neighborhoods and can't depend on me. When black children are sad. When there are guns everywhere. When death is here and I'm a new kind of nearsighted. And she's a new kind of lovely death is. Rights of front yard passes. People getting beat up. I say, I'm not paranoid enough. You got a taste for violence. I've winked at 3 funerals. The Lord gave his only begotten temper to me. Death knows me by nickname. I call it nothing cute. Lord, let me see the enemy in my circle. Let me see that the enemy is my circle. Let my circle kill me. Let me not stay dead. See, I know who I am down to the street signs. Streets pass my life back and forth. Pass me under gambler jokes and cigarettes, and here I am thinking this is what you call driving at night, or this is what you call 35 miles away, freeway and all smeared all over the city. Tell me, how you write letters with a building on top of your head, with a building feasting on you, with 1,000 backs turned to your kids, without her subtle gesture to interpret in the middle of a backfired resurrection with a president who was out to kill you? Hey, we only got one gun to speak of still. I sleep good in August, and nobody talks back in traffic. And interestingly, handsome bastard had to match and find something. I'm like a hi-hat on its own, motherless, though less of a child. Projectiles become tires, choirs suck down liquor. 5 floors become audience for a dancing killer. You just a dancing killer. Mid-water walk outline all over the state. I've seen a bullet become a cheapskate, bodies in a bargain. Handsome but hardened, prison air, Spanish cells, black as well. Run tell about my level. And what you seen me do to water, and what you seen me do to men. The last of a dying group of friends, another city ends. You know, a lot of guys can happen in 3 seconds. Not much heaven, though. Here's a man before a fight. A leave me alone type character emerging from the penniless death of a one-way street fiction. That's just a fancy way of saying I'm gonna make it even if I have to drive backwards. Hey, all I got is chord changes and 1,000 backhands. Driving the street like I'm choking it. Car full of nephews, hasn't been a sun since November, and there hasn't been a street I can't choke to death. This city better back down. You see this gun on the table, and something about staring until it all feels stable. Why wouldn't I protect everyone? All my death sleep late. My son better be quick. My daughter better shoot first, because we fold for no one. You know, we fold for nothing. Okay, the first thing you'll feel is the heat. This lady would telling me about possession. Drink life neat is what I mostly hear. And most of the world leaves me alone to breathe smog like a giant, to go to jail every once in a while when the genocide kicks up in late May, when politicians have too easy a time. I'm gassing backwards out a one-way street in honor of myself. And in honor of you, if you understand the nature of the world. And how long I've been just like my father. One hell of a resemblance as the anxiety of the neighborhood. This is like a crossroads or a crossroads narrative, or so much crossroads people get in the habit of turn back only to find themselves remembering me. But not my last words. A man before a fight should feel the heat. But there's nothing to keep in mind. There's nothing to remember. Really, there's nothing to be. Just this moment, then another, then stare, then it all becomes stable, then the table legs go fuzzy, and Friday's an unfamiliar face peeking in the window. It's cool to panic for a second. Composure is wasted on your worst enemies. People are marked on that sidewalk. You the only thing life-size. Everybody knows this in a wire hanger empire. When the blood stops walking, that feeling isn't father enough to be permission to fold. You better swing one more time. That father of yours rose from the grave and said, just give me 5 more minutes. He said, running water is a myth. It's us. It's us who are running up, down, and all alongside this water. And people don't rise from the grave. They're not laid down neither. It's us who flip all around their body. So, beware. Beware when the people around you all look like they about to jump. It might be your time. You'll feel the heat. And when four walls demand to be 4 walls, and the earth outside mutes, don't panic. Don't try to recreate the earth outside. Don't tell jokes to yourself. See, don't even talk disrespectfully to the 4 walls. Instead, unclench your fist and walk away. There might be heaven if you understand the nature of the world. I am the son of a hospital room. In a world of bedpans, water does not know his own. I strain to hear every narrator in the room. They are the cycling shifts in his face. A sideless supernatural, his faces that strain and strain, collapse and shoot, freeze and fade, wander in, then wander away. I say, Pops, man, let's live this hour with no meaning. I am a son, he is a finish. I think there's been more for you than for me, I say, and we smile like water would. What I know now, there was a dark red Sunday sitting under that Wednesday afternoon. A dark red Sunday, a wolf wearing mild skies. What I know now, Chicago streets collect and guard souls. Sons respect their last breath fathers. Fathers pass away in between two conversations. I know that our blood is 1,000 bullets here. We are skin-edged, fast hands, hunched rivers, prison canvas, strange leaves. You know, we agree or organize now, name more prison, more canvas. I mean, I used to talk to his ghost with a prison pencil, grew up watching sketch women and men turn and walk away from a foreground cardboard, can look that deep, 43rd Street, collector souls. Pop, as you travel where light means a little less and home perhaps more, be any man that suits you. Shift low air, kneel in hurricane, splash a bending image over your face, perhaps an image of us. Walk east, I guess. Eat hurricane. Let this lonely love you. You know, do not sing, do not understand, do nothing for now. You know, do not belong. Perhaps see us again. Meanwhile, my brother and I are driving in an empty cell lane. We are God's evil to these settlers. They might throw us under the shift change. We take wolf naps. We don't know what else we good at besides this traveling. State lines in the night tide, passing through beachhead America, passing with hurricane memory, 3,000 exits of sludge-bathed apartheid. You know everything south of Canada is extrajudicial gun oil in your local unemployment factory. In a few hours we will fit in. Relax for now. Hop out the car and I am a dirty shoe illusion, leaning on the trunk with the ghosts of switchblades and other rusty services. I am enemy humor and traveling, father's ashes on the back seat, behind two sons in a lane not for metaphor. Well, maybe a metaphor about something unfinished. 1 million hands passing us through the Midwest. Last wishes by way of fishtail, daydreams by way of collision, home in the badlands of translation, relaxed passing, great-grandparents' finger bones, father's ashes, no longer arms, just tattoos. Badlands imagination, barreling, translating a father's last trip home. We don't know what else we good at besides this traveling. Exits in collage, exits in pieces, pieces of 1970s kitchen plates and a good luck refrigerator we still ain't ate. The narcotic swing of how we see yesterday. Get out the car against desperate white supremacy. Gas station greetings, stray dogs and other earthborn alarms. We are straight deadly against desperate white supremacy and other senses of docility and murder. We don't know what else we good at besides this traveling. I mean, you know. 2 coins are the tallest us, a character interstate on a journey of 1,000,000 parallels. Some like me better high, some like me better drunk. Every late night has a summer to it, you know, Cousin Breeze and Murder Rate barreling like gut-born love songs. Your ancestors are smiling as we pass the time when we ride this language. Past Gary 3000, a stomach with cast iron lining, proud forearms for meals, a 3-man ghost story, fishers of ourselves, cards dealt, narrative implied, maybe something unfinished, like an Indiana hurricane, or 2 midnights in Milwaukee, or no arms, no tattoos, no Chicago ever again. We don't know what else we good at besides this traveling. And besides, heaven is all goodbyes anyway. All right.
I hear San Francisco in the most beautiful way, in the most difficult way, you know, that someone can hear it, and that's what poets are supposed to do. So tell me about being from San Francisco and how that's obviously influenced your work.
I dare not.
Well,
I dare not.
I'm not.
I dare not. Not in the city of Detroit will I brag about another city, but you know, I think I just got lucky, you know, because you know, I don't know, man. It's like the groovy thing about growing up in San Francisco. Well, it was terrible at the same time. You know, I mean, I'm an '80s baby, so all I remember is like which heroin addict is gonna tip, you know, like really taking bets in the second grade. Like, I bet you my candy that one's gonna fall first. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, we came up in the heyday of this kind of like new insanity that's been running for a few decades now. But what was kind of groovy about the foundation was like San Francisco, you know, given its various histories of, you know, Panthers and other radicalisms, you know, it's kind of like white supremacy as seen on TV was really not the lick in San Francisco. You know, we was really counterculture, even down to the aesthetic. So it was like kind of like a groovy place for somebody like me to grow up in, because I just had like access to all kind, you know, access to all kind of modes of revolutionary possibility. And San Francisco was cool too, because it was like, it seemed like a place of like, it kind of like had, you know, genuine intersection, you know, like, you know, we really were kind of like, it's almost like this internationalist type of thing, and like we knew who the enemy was, and was kind of together on it. But at the same time, you know, like I said, it was crazy. You know? It was nuts. It made me traumatized and defensive.
In the best kind of way.
Right.
Well, I mean, just, you know, because people, when they think of the Bay Area and the black.
Well, I'm gonna tell you now, because I'm gonna tell you, see what the white man did. Really declared war on black San Francisco from the jump. See, they was trying to get us out there from the jump for a few different reasons. I can't take credit for this idea, but a friend of mine argued that actually what kind of moving production to other places in the globe was really about was not necessarily like, oh, we can make more money if we put the factories other places, but actually we need to keep production away from the hands of angry black people who have proven they will burn the whole thing down, right? So you move you move, you know, if you move it as far away from the fire as possible. You see? Now this is what the thing though is, the tech industry though is the only aspect of US production that did not move and has to stay here. Not just because it has these like, you know, ways to shop and entertain yourself, but because also the military implications of technology, you know what I'm saying? So they knew what was happening in San Francisco, and they've been declared war on us and tried to get us out there. But see, the thing is, what a lot of people didn't know, or some people didn't know, is just like San Francisco, like black San Francisco, it's really been like an apartheid town. Like a lot of people thought that San Francisco was like, you know, I don't know what they thought. But we had like, basically we had some like real, well shit, it's almost over now, but some real fierce neighborhoods.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they had to get us out of there because, you know, you can't have all kind of oppressed black people right next door to the only industry that is still growing within the United States. So that's why, you know, we down only 3% of the city. They still kill us You know, more than every once in a while, you know. We still half the jail. You know, 3% of the population, but we half the jail. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like, man, what San Francisco is really is really the dystopia. You know, it's really and then yeah, I don't know, I could go on and on, man. But at the end of the day, you know, I feel like, man, we at the end of history, you know. So it's like, or all that to say, all this thing just feels frozen in time until we really assert ourselves and, you know what I mean, as like real human beings. And we got to take it away from these rich people. They running it into the ground. We had these little fires, we got these fires now, I'm talking about climate change now. You couldn't go outside in San Francisco in the Bay Area without a mask on. I got people that still coughing up blood because they didn't take it serious, you know what I'm saying? They said, there was an article that said we had the worst air in the world. You know what I'm saying? Now, and that's why, man, God is a comedian, right? Because cats come to San Francisco. San Francisco supposed to be like this big, you know, no green, no carbon imprint. We compost, you know what I'm saying? You know, we got 3 different garbage pails, you know what I mean? Right? You supposed to come there and feel good about yourself. Bike everywhere and all this. You supposed to feel like you not, you know, but now you go outside, you can't breathe in what's supposed to be one of the greener places in the United States, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, the ruling class must be stopped, you know? Well, anyway.
Yeah. Would anyone like to follow up with that?
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
What a type of poetry, is this what they call word poetry? And then have another question.
Oh, yes, sir. You want me to handle that one first? Yes. All right. You know it's cold, but I don't even know, man. It starts on you know what it is? Right now, it's just like, there's so much that's happened poetry-wise. I'm just trying to push myself, you know? Because I have access to so much. It's so much that's come before us. It's like you might as well just, and you know, that's what I got from Audre Lorde, reading Audre Lorde. It's just like, man, do what you want on the page, you know what I'm saying? Now, why I memorize my poems and say them is because that's like the best way for me to experience, it's really kind of selfish. It's the best way for me to experience the poem. Yeah. See, when I get it down in my mind, then it's kind of like a full immersion, and then actually I get more honest, you know, because it's weird. Even just the act of sitting up here holding something like this, now I am a poet. You're right. You know what I'm saying? I am a poet and I'm going to read this poetry, you know? So what it is like a caricature is instantly born, or a persona is instantly there, you know? But when it's just kind of like with nothing, then it's just like I don't have nothing to hide behind, then I'm just walking around in the poem, or in the possibilities of the poem. You see what I'm saying?
Because he's never nursed a baby. And so when you nurse a baby, what? We're gonna talk about it, because when you nurse a baby, the baby sucks all your brain cells out of your body. And so let me tell you how much I'm gonna be rocking with my paper, but better than anybody on the planet in all time, because that 12-year-old took all my memory. And so
hold on now.
No, I'm just saying.
I didn't mean no knock to anybody that get paper.
But I can memorize.
Just telling you what I do.
I can memorize all the poems from that I wrote in the 90s. I know all those right now by heart. You could do it like the MC. But the ones I wrote like 2 weeks ago, that's gonna take a minute. I'm gonna need a couple minutes on that one till I forget, because it's just different for me now. But I don't know, there's no such thing as word poetry. For me, poetry is poetry. Either you write good poems or you don't. Either you smash on the page. To me, like all that, I remember early, because because I became famous on television on Showtime at the Apollo, I had to overly prove myself in New York City that I actually knew how to write poetry, because all the literati people were like snooty, and poetry was something that you had to go get a PhD in and sanitize down in order to be considered a poet. So I've been dealing with that BS for like, I don't know, 25 plus years. And I'm really uninterested in the conversation about if you, either you consider it a poem or you don't. I know it's poetry to me. His poetry sound like Gil Scott Heron, sound like Amiri Baraka, sound like Jane Cortez, sound like Audre Lorde, sound like resistance poems, sounds like Sadiq Bey, sound like everybody we've ever read that we studied our whole lives. And so it's just poetry. But with different generations, like, it comes out a little different. But I remember, I'll never forget when Mari Evans came up to me in Chicago before she passed at a Black Expo, and she came to hear me read poems. And she said, Jessica, well, you don't sound like hip hop, you sound like us. I said, well, that's what I've been trying to tell them. And you know, because all those divisions, all those labels are just bullshit. You know, they don't really exist. But they create those divisions to keep us away from each other.
So it's like this. It depends on who asked the question. So if you're a white cat, be like, what is that?
Oh, it's a problem.
Then it's a problem. But for you, my brother, I would say this. It's just, for me, it's the opportunity to see what my mind communicates when not tasked with survival. You see? Because usually when we communicate, it's like, because I need something on something, or because I'm trying to reproduce myself in my social reproduction. Like, this is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to say. This type of thing, you know what I mean? So it's like on the page, when you down on that page, you already know. Now it's like, okay, when the mind is not tasked with survival, what does it have to say? You see, that's really what I get down on.
The other point is this. What do you think is the influence of the beat poetry of the 50s and all that? How is that affected in terms of what's happening in San Francisco today? What effect do you think that had on what's going on now?
Man, you know, bro, I don't pay close enough attention, brother. I just kind of go with whatever random flow I can catch. I think, well, at this point, I don't think people, you know, it's just kind of like, man, people, you know, tradition kind of went out the window a couple decades ago. You know, it's just like everybody want to kind of just, I don't know. It's hard to say. Out here, I would say, like, okay, I see a few different types. I do know an answer. There is I see a few different type of poets, you know. Some really, people be influenced by what they think they're supposed to be doing, you know. So you got poets that's more like academic, you know, or they think they're academic. And so they'll pull from, you know, some random, you know, somebody in 1852, and they'll just make a religion out of that, you know. You got cats that want to be famous, you know, kind of want to rock star up, so they'll be more like influenced by the slam kind of situation that happened in the last few decades, you know. But I think, you know, man, you know what the thing is? Now that it's like the cities have gone corny, it's like things have changed. It just shows it's not about your most talented. It's about the people, like the people there, the people make the situation, you know. With the people gone, now it's just like we all just like culture is just taking place in outer space and really under super control though, you know, because we all get kicked out of the building, you know. We don't own the building we performing in, you know what I'm saying? It's like so it's weird, man. All that to say, like, if anything, I feel like in San Francisco right now, probably in other places, this thing is just like being in a vacuum or something in a terrifying way. Because again, it's just, we're not accountable to anybody. Nobody's there, you know, or, you know, we entertaining rich people. Keep it real, you know what I'm saying? I be talking all this about gentrifiers, but then I be spitting poems to them, no. You know, because they be in the bookstore, you know? Now, that's not just mean I'm to be played with, you know what I'm saying? But this is the weird reality and really why it's kind of like corny or just like, it's disconcerting because it really ain't about, it's not about your talented tenth, man. It's about it's everybody that really creates a renaissance, you know?
Oh, but it is. So you do teach, I want to talk like, I know you teach, you do teach.
Yeah.
And, you teach poetry. I'm just wondering, what do you like as a professor of poetry?
I am like my own class clown.
Really, I'm so surprised. Are you sure?
I'll be ready to kick myself out the classroom.
What's the most important thing, I think, for the younger poets that are here that they need to know when they're thinking about about poetry right now? Or should they not think at all?
Okay. The only thing we do is we write good lines. That's it. By the time you pick up the pen, it's too late. Okay? Who you are, what you know, what you got to say, what you're gonna give to the world, all that is already, it's there. Just write good lines. It's like if, you know, well, I don't know what you subscribe to, you know, God or the Force, you know, whatever.
Okay.
if whatever you subscribe to is to like appear before you and say, what have you learned, you know? That's what the poem is, you know? So don't worry about accomplishing anything on the page, you know, except writing good lines, you know? And it's just kind of, and that's actually not subjective. So, like for example, shall I run down?
Yeah, do it.
Does the class
Yes,
begin?
Professor. Let's
Oh,
go.
man,
Let's
I
go.
don't
I'm
know.
listening.
Does anybody, is this boring?
No. They're in the library. These are nerds. Sexy nerds are in here.
All right.
Yeah.
For all you sexy nerds
the
out
sexy-
there. Okay. So the first thing you got to understand, is like poetry, well, not the first thing, I don't know how to say anything, but poetry is like a play on perception, you know? And that's kind of like what vibrates a consciousness is when you just play with it. Because perception very much is kind of like where liberation is at stake. Because what you think you're part of and who you think you are in it very much determines how you go about things, you know? So now, it's not necessarily my place, although I could tell you some things, it's not necessarily my place to tell you, well, this is what you are and this is where you are. Rather, it's my place, or it is my joy,
I know that's right.
to shake up, you know, shake you up, or just give you a possibility that there's another way of looking at things. You see? So it's not as, again, it's not, you know, or like, you know, like all of us, we used to get in, all of us with revolutionary parents used to, you know, it's not what, it's how, you know, it's not what to think, but how to think. So playing with, the play on perception will always kind of just like, is always a good place to start. You know, what do you see? A transformation of what you see, you know. The zoom in, you know, detail. I mean, and the zoom in is crucial because really the only true journey of an artist is getting to your voice, you know. In the beginning, you are not necessarily you. And then at a certain point, you become you like a mug. You know what I'm saying?
You change though.
And-
Each book is different, I think, anyway.
And that's how you get to your voice is through the details.
Yeah.
Because the whole hype is like, if we was to ask everybody in here to describe the last 10 minutes, you know, the more detail everybody got, it'd just all be different stories. You see what I'm saying? So as a poet, you know, getting down with your, you know, the details, and then also the zoom out too. Because along with poetry being a play on perception, poetry is a play on implication. And the more implication you can jam into a line, interestingly, the more musical it is. So like a good line kind of is like a synthesis of a smaller and a bigger picture. Or me describing a literal action in a way that tells you about the greater context. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we could even do it right now just on like a real literal, like, you know what I mean? A tall cat sits on the stage talking, right? But now, a tall cat sits on the stage where? A tall cat sits on the stage where there's nobody to give pizza to. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now, in a roundabout, cheap shot way, I have situated, you know what I mean, just in this little, in that little line, now there's implications of gentrification, there's implications of late stage imperialism, and there's like, okay, well then what is poetry really if outside we still let them run amok, you know what I mean? Implication. So you can always like basically look at what you already have down on the page and see what else you can jam into it. Are those that's familiar with music, you know that blues is really just the addition of 1 or 2 notes into a regular skeleton of a scale. It's like similarly, you just inject that blues note into it and it opens up on a whole different situation, you know. And then there's just kind of like, and then the trick too, for the poet, the more it's like you have processes, right? That you know, writing is really just like the art of beating writer's block, and you have these tricks, right? What you want to do is just start. The more you can work them tricks into the front end of the process, the more you can, you know, the more you can kind of. It's almost like poetry is written by committee in the head. You know, it's like more than one of me. And so I think it's even like a psychological definition of intelligence. Like intelligence is the ability to see something and then split yourself and look at it another way and actually dialogue with yourself about something that you're thinking about, right? So it's like similarly that natural tendency, you want to, you know, amplify that. You know, you can even have, you know, you can have 100 voices in your head and be like, well, I like this aspect, but this, but what about this? You know, we're always doing that. Can we do something else now? You know what I mean? But you move this kind of process to the front end, right? And then, you know, and then you put it down. The more that process moves in, then it's kind of like, the more you just kind of expand and the more lucid you get in your craft. Because really it's like, oh, all right, I'll shut up on this one. You wanna know the trick? The only trick. The trick really where my thing opened up is when I learned to write bored. See, when you're good at something, you got the knack for something, it make you feel good, right? So you either want to get high off of it, or what do we always is get things off my chest, you know, this is how I express, you know, like that's groovy, right? It'll get you a certain distance, but what it does is you start tunneling down too much on things that you feel comfortable with, or really keep it real, make you feel good. So learning to write board, putting a timer on, that's what I did. I just put 2 hours on the clock every day. And then just, you know, you put yourself in a situation where it's impossible, you know, because if you sitting there for 2 hours trying to write a board, you feel really good the whole time, then you might want to check in with somebody. But now, you know, so learning, because see, what happens in the boredom is lucidity. You know, it's a really interesting thing. And fear not, the dragon will come pick you back up, you know. But you know, yeah, like taking euphoria out of the dynamic, that grew me up a whole lot. Because now you're not just like, oh, this is where I'm strong, let me run back over here. You're just like, okay, I have nothing to hang on to. You know, I am going nowhere. This is going nowhere. So I might as well just like really like poke around, because your craft is really just like your parallel universe. It's just like your dream. So the more lucid you get in that dream, the more interesting, you see?
Coming to Detroit. Thank y'all. Thank you for coming out and making it successful. We can talk more, I'm sure, but I know that the library does have a closing downtime, so please come say hello. I'm at the very least, you know, come buy all these books. You don't want to take them back to San Francisco tomorrow. And and give us an email address so we can stay in touch. And please come back for Ursula Rucker, December 12th for Black Fire. Thank you.